Finally, a month that feels a bit more exciting with some unfavorables, I guess. So the stoic in me is excited to ride the waves and talk about them. I don't know, I get off on this. I'm not fear-mongering, I'm just talking about the astrology. So if you're excited to dive into this June astrology, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. So before that, I want to mention a great place to safely and recurringly buy Bitcoin. In other words, dollar cost averaging, where you hold yourself accountable not to get emotional about swings up or down. You buy in regularly. You just schedule. Swan Bitcoin, safe, easy to use, love the team, highly recommend using them to regularly stack sats. When you start your plan at the link below, you will get $10 of free Bitcoin, which in a couple weeks, years, that could be worth a lot more. Not sponsored, just a ref link I have that I recommend you use if you're looking to safely dollar cost average, linked below. Hi, I'm Maren, I'm an astrologer. I do lots of things, I wear lots of hats, and I'm a Western astrologer. I use the tropical zodiac, and I use whole sign houses. So this entire month, Saturn in the sky will be square Uranus. Saturn in Aquarius, square Uranus in Taurus. And this will be exact on June 14th. So this is important because this happened earlier in the year, and now that Saturn is retrograding back, it's again coming into a square. And I spoke about this in the yearly 2021 forecast, but Saturn square Uranus has coincided with the liberation movements of oppressed peoples. Saturn is structure, the past, conservatism, more upholding traditional norms or wanting to retain something, and Uranus is the anarchist rebel, fuck it, I'm gonna liberate and like do this shit on my own energy. So when they're square, it's a dynamic tension between wanting to hold on to safety and security and wanting to completely obliterate that and move forward. And I think we can see that because there's not a lot of in-between that we see projected nowadays. There's a lot of people out there who are like a silent, like decent, kind of like I don't want to throw my hands up in either direction, but when the feeling in society in a lot of ways is this, you know, old clinging on to the past and then this new let's rage against the machine. And it's where not only just in politics but in lots of topics you can see this tension right now between wanting to say fuck it, I'm gonna blaze full speed ahead, or I'm scared, I don't want to change anything. So this is toning the month, but it's exact in the middle on the 14th. And with Saturn retrograde, I think it's a return to some of the social themes early on in the year, namely fiscal policy, namely government intervention, control in the economy, things like that were discussed early on. From May 29th, so kind of bleeding into the month, into June 22nd, there's a Mercury retrograde in Gemini. However, Mercury retrogrades are never the most fun, and I have a Mercury retrograde survival guide video, not the end of the world, but communication errors going on throughout this Saturn-Uranus square definitely seems like just watch your words, have a sense of humor, don't expect to know that you're right or be right. From the 4th to the 6th, Mars in Cancer will oppose Pluto in Capricorn. Mars has fallen in Cancer. I don't like it there. It's exalted in Capricorn. It can work hard, climb the ladder in an earth sign that keeps it on its toes and being practical. In Cancer, it's the sign of the crab that goes side to side and walks in fucking circles and then hides underneath the ground. So Mars trying to get shit done is like flying all over the place with a dull knife, being like, help me, and like doesn't do anything. Like, one of my good friends with triple Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, like she can't even say her name without being like, I think it's blah, blah, blah. Like that's the kind of energy of Mars and Cancer. It doesn't get shit done. So opposite Pluto, no offense if you have Mars and Cancer, hopefully you have a sense of humor. Opposite Pluto and Capricorn, Pluto exacerbates, and in opposition is dynamic tension to go back and forth on a massive scale. So going from inaction and overly self-conscious and passive into Pluto, like extreme manipulation, like RAR, is kind of the dynamic from June 4th to 6th of just the oblivion of like, oh, woe is me, like little old me, into like obsessive maniac kind of mode. So maybe the worst extremes of Cancer. No offense, you know you're my favorite sign. I'm honest. June 10th, solar eclipse in Gemini. Full video is on this, but I actually like this eclipse. It has Venus in Gemini getting a superior square from Jupiter in Pisces. It will coincide with a repetition of social themes from last year around this time when the same eclipse basically happened that involved, you know, George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, and also alongside that, like pro versus anti-mask, those kinds of dynamics will likely come up again. However, with Jupiter in Pisces and such a nice aspect to the planets in Gemini, there's planets in Cancer that are also receiving a nice aspect from Jupiter in Pisces, but a trine. This eclipse in and of itself, I think, is demonstrating that there's things going on and that we're very complacent and happy with our own side, so to speak. That the world is reopening, we don't really want to fight right. However, there are issues going on around this time that lead us to kind of be like, well, at least my side's right. Haha. That's the vibe that I get. And I prefer it over other eclipses because eclipses are generally difficult and this one is not as much as other ones. However, it's still an eclipse and these still do usually involve social justice and different takes on what that is. So yeah, I'm staying out of deciding a side necessarily through this. I'm just kind of going to be like, I'm going to watch this. It's during a Mercury retrograde, a lot going on. From the 13th to the 14th, the sun in Gemini will then exactly square Neptune. This is another aspect that's just like, whoa, 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 hands off. I'm not going to take a side because the sun square Neptune is a confusion around who has the authority and the authority to do what. And sun in Gemini likes to feel like it has the right information to act. Square Neptune in Pisces is like, well, what faith do I have that I know that that's the right way to act? And it's very confusing. So 13 to 14 continues on this energy of like, I am not going to claim to be an authority or on the right side right now. 21st is actually really nice. Venus in Cancer is trining Neptune in Pisces. This is beautiful. 21st, my favorite day of the month. It's right before Mercury stationing direct. So Mercury's basically stationing direct, so powerful words are possible. But also Venus trine Neptune is like perfect spa day, perfect love. Like Venus trine Neptune, beautiful day. Go like get desserts and go to the spa, go on a date. It's really lovely. So on the 22nd, Mercury will then station direct in Gemini. Mercury retrograde's over. So Mercury stations when it moves from direct to retrograde or retrograde to direct when it's stationing, switching movement. It's a really intense day. So saying, doing things communication-wise when Mercury stations direct is like, that has some weight behind it. So if you want to say a message, know that there's going to be weight behind it. On the 23rd to the 24th, Venus in Cancer will then oppose Pluto in Capricorn. Watch out for obsession, for emotional manipulation, for back and forth kind of, I don't want to say abusive clinginess, but like that kind of like clinginess and then uproar. Venus opposite Pluto is very intense extremes. With Cancer, I do think of emotional passivity and dependence versus kind of extreme. I'm thinking of like the worst, like back and forth, like I'm honestly thinking of like the Love the Way You Lie song where, yeah, I'm thinking of Love the Way You Lie by Eminem. Venus opposite Pluto, very intense. Watch out for that 23rd to 24th, especially if you have late Cancer Capricorn placements. Not that I would, just kidding. I'm wondering like what this might be. Not that I'm in a relationship for this to make sense, but like wondering what this could be. So we'll see, but yeah. And on the 24th, we have a full moon in Capricorn, which I mean, pretty straightforward. Full moon regarding the ending of something that is literal, tangible. You worked for it, you climbed that ladder, and now it's time to let go. And after a couple years of the nodes in that sign, it's kind of nice to have a pretty simple full moon in Capricorn where it's like, we did it! Yay! Like, it's not an emotional full moon. We get the pat on the back and the stiff upper lip and move on full moon. So, good day to release things that are holding you back financially or worldly-wise. A pretty straight... I like a good Capricorn full moon. Who doesn't? And finally, on the 30th, Mars in Leo will oppose Saturn in Aquarius. This is a pretty tense day. Mars opposite Saturn is our will to power opposite the confines of structures in the world that limit that. So, the 30th seems like a very frustrating day. A frustrated day. It seems like I would describe it as a cock block. Like that's the day with Mars and Leo trying to like perform and be like all out, and then like Saturn is like, nope. So frustrating into the month. If you have any thoughts or complaints, concerns for this month for you, let me know down below. Would love to hear. So I'm filming this in April and I just got some April Fool's cards from TradingView that are like TradingView themed tarot cards. Right up my fucking alley. I love it. So I'm gonna pull a trading tarot card for us for June. We'll see what comes up. Queen of Futures, so the Queen of Swords. So this involves new ideologies, new moving forward. Queen of Futures. I think that a lot of us are tired with the division and feeling like we're right on a side, and we're just kind of like, where do we get our support for a new vision, a new future? Like futures are the value of something that you are declaring in the future. So what value can you declare in the future? The fact that I'm fucking delineating like TradingView tarot cards, I love it. This is absurd. But Queen of Futures, where are you getting your empowerment for the value of the future? So in line with these tarot cards, when you deposit $100 down at the WeBull link below, you will get 2 free stocks valued at up to $1,850. If you want to take advantage, if you want to make that your future, you know, check that out down below. Otherwise, make sure that you like, subscribe, and let me know any thoughts that you have around this June, and I will see you in the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night.